So nice to see everyone. Max, will you please put the agenda in the chat? Thank you very much. So we have a few check-ins from around the world, which is just so much fun. It's such a fun part of our Just for Now calls. We have some VSOF board members to talk about the conference. I know many of you weren't just there, but were presenters and or interpreters and big parts of making this such a huge success. We have Seema here, who's going to do a movement experience. We have a demonstration. I have a recording of Violet doing a demonstration with a then 6-year-old. And each one of these is so precious. And then we're going to do an experience in breakout rooms. And then John Blend is here. I don't know if all of you or some of you saw the video that I sent out, John, when you did an early music experience with the group, when we had so many countries, and the audio was, not, it wasn't great, but we didn't, or I didn't care. I thought it was amazing to just see how many people were there with their different things. Max, your mom was here. I think she was shaking some Tylenol or something. That's great. And that's fine. That's totally fine. So to start off our check-ins, I thought I'd just play a couple videos, and some of you are actually here from this early call because it was just amazing just to get all of us together. And so here's just one video. Here we go. This is what our early calls were.
My name is Violet Oaklander, and I'm talking to you from Los Angeles.
So this is Lynn Stabler, and I'm in Santa Barbara.
Gian Domenico. I'm from Trieste, Italy, in the northeast of the country.
Hi, I'm Seema. I'm in Sri Lanka. Yeah, it's lovely to see everybody.
I am Michelle. I come from Panama.
Yeah, my name is Liz Cervantes. I'm from Mexico, actually.
So I'm Chris McKenna. I'm from Manhattan Beach, California.
I'm from Central Asia. I'm from Kyrgyzstan.
Hello, my name is Ksenia, calling you from Moscow.
And what Kathy Mew, who's here, knows, that's just, that could have gone on because we had, right? How many? 20, 30 people checking in from different ones. So anyway, so Kathy, could we start with you? There's a few people to check in. Could we start with you? So nice to have you. A lot has happened since our first call.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think from the first call, I might have been hiding it, but I had a belly. I was pregnant. And now my daughter attends preschool. So that's how much time has passed since then. Some other things that have happened. I'm still continuing to work with Karen, which is great. That's a nice constant in my life. I'm a creature of change, though. We moved from California to Washington State. We have seasons now. After this call, I'm going to take my daughter pumpkin picking. So just so much has happened. Really thankful for this community. And, my own daughter is developing. And as I'm working with her, I think of you guys all the time. And John, I have absolutely no musical ability. And every time I watch that video when you hosted that music session, I smile so much. So I'm trying to bring more music into my daughter's life, but it's certainly not something innate So just want to thank everybody in the community because, of course, everything that you're doing for your clients and around the world, but personally, how it's helped me with my daughter.
Well, you will, when we're working on a presentation, Kathy will say, oh, I, this was amazing. I just saw this, or I just tried this, or what do you think of this drawing that Lana did? So it's fun to talk to you as a mom. And you have all of our, I'm writing some articles about using the apps for a play therapy publication. And all the work that you did is being recognized, as far as publication, scholarly publication, play therapists. I think people just use it for fun. It's still got 20,000 users. So in a month, and so I sort of run out of words for that. When you sent me that link the second week of the pandemic, really was amazing. So great to see you. And thanks.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Okay. So Sheila, when I saw that we had someone that was joining from Nepal, one of my favorite, I should have a picture of this, because one of my favorite presentations is when you shared what Nepal is like with us. It was amazing. And it's amazing to get to see you and connect with you. I'm just going to invite you to do any brief check-in. It's so nice to see you and have you. You're muted though.
No, am I mute? No.
Now
Okay.
now we can hear you.
So hi everyone, I'm Sheila from Nepal and I work in schools with children and also with some parents and adults in my private practice. As Karen mentioned, I'm so thankful to Kathy. So it's not only during pandemic that we have been using the online tools, but it's so much, especially in Nepal, like when we don't, where we don't have miniatures that we can use for Santry, we can still use these online tools, and children love it so much. So I'm very thankful to Kathy, and I just want to share a few things about what I observe in children. Even the COVID is over, but we still see the effects of COVID. Let's say the financial crisis among parents has affected children here in Nepal. So children are going through a lot of stress, and teachers have a lot of expectations from children because they feel like by now children should have been able to bridge the gap they had during online classes. But having introduced to this Aucklander model, I find it so much fun to work with children using this Aucklander model and all the online tools, and I'm so thankful. And I love to be in this just for now Zoom calls. It's so much fun and so much of learning and connecting with people all from all around the world. Thank you so much, Karen, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. I am hearing I am hearing about this expectation. Aren't we done? Actually, I didn't do the poll. I will do the poll and I sort of address that, but I am hearing that.
Yeah.
That
And one more thing I would like to add, Karen.
please.
Karen and her friend Malisha, they have supported me in getting, let's say I'm getting trainings on supporting children with learning difficulties. So I've just started learning, and I will soon be also supporting children with learning difficulties, and I'm very happy for that. And also thank you to Karen, Melisha, and Crystal, who has been giving me this training. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. And when Sheila said, you know, we don't really work with neurodivergent children in Nepal, I said, well, so I called Melissa. I'm like, don't we have everything online? And so why wouldn't we do that? So make good use of it. So I'm so glad there's no one that I would trust that information more with, Sheila. Seema too, but you, Sheila, sorry. Oh my goodness. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay, Natalia. We always wish we could get different news from you about what's happening in Ukraine. And we still want to hear from you.
Hello, everyone. Glad to see you. I maybe have to say that Just for Now calls is a very supportive group for me since the COVID was amongst the world. But now in Ukraine, you know, we are going through the difficult times. And in my work, I try to use all I have learned from Karen in a calendar model and try to teach my students to use some moments of using this model when they will go to their workplace as a child psychologist. Now I see that my clients, children and adolescents have symptoms which connected maybe with consequences of trauma, and it doesn't matter whether children have been living in Ukraine during all this time or they were moved abroad. They all need help because each situation was stressful. It was stressful to leave their homes, and someone stayed without home now because it was broken, bombed. So we are working, child psychologists in Ukraine, working hard and try to do all we can to help children. And thank you for your support. Thank you, Auckland Foundation. We were happy to have an opportunity to be present on a conference in June. And I still have emails from participants which and they say thank you that it was great. My English is not so good. Hope you understand me.
Well, as an English speaker, I can say I understood everything. And we on my list is maybe, I don't know, do these just for now with interpreters, but it's a lot to ask. And you even were one of them during that conference, so that it was accessible to people speaking Ukrainian. So you've participated and contributed quite a bit. And thank you for being here. So I go over to Liz. You're here, yeah? In Mexico. You're in the car?
Yes. Yes, sorry, I didn't make it back home for, in time for the Just for Now, but I'm here.
Good to see you.
Same, good to see you too. To see you all.
Anything to share about how things are going? You recently moved to Mexico. Moved back to Mexico.
Yes, exactly. So I think many or maybe some of you guys know that I was living in the US We moved back to Mexico, just looking, to be around our support system because I also had a baby last year. So it's been like a lot of changes, also considering all the changes or the transition we've all having, right? Because of the post-pandemic era. I don't know. I don't even know how to name it. And going back here, I started my practice again. And so I'm still working with children and teenagers. I'm also, well, I'm actually getting some of the clients I used to work with before I left. So, it's also seeing like these people that I knew, but they are, young adults, even some of them. So it's been interesting for me to find out how the pandemic impacted like all of my clients. I've been seeing that this still, I don't want to say that's still like an issue, but the sequels that we're seeing, at least I'm seeing here, are like definitely there. I've been seeing some of, anxiety treats and depressive treats. I mean, and this struggles with going back to the social activities, especially for teens saying, well, what do I do now? So it seems like they didn't really practice these 2 years enough. So I'm also seeing that, and there's like a lot of work towards that in therapy. But here, at least in the area I live, it's really safe, and it's really a pleasure to live here, even though the weather's too hot. But some of the things that are happening right now in Mexico is that we have this, we do have a serious problem with violence, like around the country, and it's been really common to hear in different states that some teenagers are disappearing or some teenagers are starting to work with the narco. So that's another issue that is there, and that teens and children are also listening to, right? So I will say that maybe that's my update. Like it's been a little rough. I've seen like even here, people, it's maybe less patient than before. So yes, I guess it's just about navigating all of this, like in my personal life, and also in my work with them and their families.
Okay. Well, thank you for checking in. And, during this Zoom time, I know we've all had this. I would have clients who would try to find like a quiet area, and I would look and I would say, "Are you in the bathroom?" And they'd say, "Yes, it's the only door that locks. It's my only private space, or the car, or a park, or," right? We've all seen so many different variations. So thanks for joining from your commute, Liz, and always nice to have you. And Florence, I see you in a square here. So I'm just gonna, before you, you're so kind to check in, but I just want to frame it for a second, which is to say that after the first Just for Now, and people saw that Violet was here on the screen, I heard from a number of people throughout the world who either actually got to meet Violet, had windows for many years, or and we're just thrilled to get this chance to be able to have her appear on your computer screen. And one of them, Florence, was you. So thanks to Kathy, we have this clip. This was I will say, Florence, this was one of the highlights for me. And I so appreciate you letting us share this.
The first book that came across for play therapy, which is Windows to Our Children. And, I remember that I used to carry this book with me when I'm going to schools. I used to use it to prepare, even before I got the training. This was the first book that I came across. So I really appreciate, and thank you so much, Violet, for even though we haven't met, but just for helping me to get to know how to navigate the world of working with children.
So when it cuts back to me, I'm literally, Florence, levitating off my chair because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this person who's in Kenya has Violet's book, and Violet gets to see that you have it. So it was just so great. So thanks for being there then. Thanks for being here now. And we'd love to hear anything that you would want to share with us about how things are going.
Thank you. Good evening from Kenya. It's about, it's going to 8 p.m. Good morning, whatever your time. Thank you, Karen. In Kenya, I continue to work with children. Of course, the Oaklander model is one of my basic approaches that I use. So it's been well. There's been a lot of work. As some of you may have read, or maybe not, we had a crisis in our country, a kind of an emergency that involved children, where some children were recruited or went with their parents to join a cult. And it was bad because about 485 people starved themselves to death under the instructions of the cult leader. And out of those, 80% were children. And so the ones that were rescued, we've been working with them since May. It's been a challenge working with children who have been brainwashed to have some certain beliefs. And I remember one time I called you, Karen, just to say, how do we do this? And thank you so much for your helping. We have used some of the suggestions and techniques that you talked to us about. And we've moved. They're not in the place where they were when we started. So we are glad that we are making some headway. And so that has kept me and my colleagues a bit busy. We continue to offer that service. It's an honor. And we have learned a lot of lessons on working with children, because this has never happened before. It was the first time for all of us, for everybody who works with children. So we have had to learn along as we go. Otherwise, I have my private practice, and I also completed my doctorate. So I'm graduating in 2 weeks, and I am so relieved that that is something that is going to be out of my way, and happy. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, congratulations. What an accomplishment. That's fantastic. And I know that this will enable you to continue even more with all the amazing work that you're doing there. And it's a privilege to get to know about it, for sure. So nice to see you, and thank you. Okay. Wow. So many of you were part of our VSOF conference that we have as our fundraiser every 2 years to continue the legacy and the work of Violet Oaklander. It was the first time that we held this conference without Violet present, online or otherwise. So there was a definite there was definitely a loss, definitely something missing. And yet Lynn is some of you might know, but those of you, I'll just say that, Lynn, you have a lot of vision for how these things can go. And I just am part of the journey and trying to help be part of the team once we hear about your idea to not do a hybrid format, but to do a in-person and online. And so we have you here, Lynn. We have Camille, who has some facts and figures to share, and Peter, who was very involved in the well, you're always involved, Peter, but in the proposals, in training the interpreters and helping us make sure that it runs smoothly. So Camille, I thought maybe you could start with what you have as far as how many people were there, and any report from you would be great.
Absolutely. So just in terms of the logistics, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who is here for participating. If you were involved, if you came to the event, either in person or online, were an interpreter, a presenter, or many pieces of the above, thank you. It was an incredible event, not just one event, lots of events. But there were 12 presentations, one just for now, 136 participants for the online portion of the event from all over the world, which is really wonderful. It's such a different model than when we were only in person. Our ability to utilize technology in this way and to be together is truly unique. And then in-person events following. So online portion in the morning and in-person events in the afternoon, one in Carpinteria, Seattle, Peru, Mexico, Argentina, UK, Ukraine, and Sri Lanka. And also new, we offered interpretation into Spanish, Ukrainian, Bulgarian, and Portuguese. And so that's a beautiful way in which we're hoping to create accessibility and access to this work, this work of Violet's. It was a very successful fundraiser, I can say, for the foundation. Thank you, everyone, for your support. And I think it was also, I just want to say, a great opportunity for students. I had one of a foundational experience of my own, which was encouraging some of my students that I teach. I'm in a doctoral program, or I teach in a doctoral program in clinical psychology, and a few of my students had an opportunity to present. And it was wonderful being able to support them in their finding of this work and their being a part of the community. So thank you, everyone, for being involved.
Thank you so much. And Lynn and Peter, we have you here, fortunately, with anything to add about anything you want to add about it.
Let's jump in and say how I don't know if Peter's still here, but I really appreciate how much he led the creation of the presentation part of the program. And I was really just personally impressed with the quality of the presentations. I learned a lot. And even though had worked with Violet so long and have been doing trainings about her work for so many years, it was such a pleasure to not just be one of the hosts of the conference, but to learn from all of you, a lot of you who presented are on this call today. So I'm excited to hear more about what people are doing and how they're working with the model.